روز همگی بخیر. بوکر توف. پارشای نفته پارشای بو ال پرعو. هشم به موشه گفت که بیا پیش پرعو کنی خط لیبو، چون من قلبش رو سفت کردم، سخت کردم و قلب سرونتاش رو که اینجوری بتونم علامت هام رو در بین اون قرار بدم. علمت سپر به اذن بینخوا، اینجوری تو میتونی تعریف کنی در گوش بچه‌هات و بچه‌هات اون بازی که من در آوردم. right الان دیگه بازیه. I'm showing off the whole thing right now. اون عجایبی که در اونا گذاشتم و بدونید که من هستم خداوند. ما میدونید این پاراشا چند تا از ضربت‌ها وجود داره؟ 3 تا. بو گمتریای بو چقدره؟ بو بتش 2 رایت. یکی چند میشه؟ 3. بس 3 تا. بفهم رو خودش افتاده رایت. بو الپرو بو میشه 3 گمتریاش 3 تا در ضربت 3 تا آخر اینجاست. این فرق این 3 تا باقی 7 تا چیه؟ چرا این 7 تا رو هشم انتخاب نکرده؟ خخامیم که پاراشا رو دیواید اپ کردن که ما توی 52 هفته بخونیم یا 58 هفته بخونیم رایت. چرا گفتن این 3 تا از اینجا به بعد بخونیم؟ تو رو نگاه بکنیم همش پشت سر همه، پاراگراف پشت سر همه. right so I'm not sure exactly when that decision was made که هر هفته چقدرش رو بخونن. قبل زمان میشنت بوده، شاید از سفر بوده، I don't know who did it. ولی خب این از اینجا گفتن پارچه جدید. چرا پارچه جدید از اینجا شروع بشه؟ چون اینم بقیه هفته نبود، همشون با هم بذار. یکی این. یه سال دیگه اینجاست که هاشم موشه میگه بیا پیش پرعو. ولی من قلبشو سفت کردم. من چیکار برم پیش پرعو چیکار کنم؟ اگه تو میدونی به من میگه نه، من برم اونجا. right
چرا بیا؟
right
چرا نه؟ برو.
چرا میگه بیا نمیگه برو؟ وقتی خداوند خودش با موشه میرفت، همیشه حضور داشت.
بیا.
منم اونجا هستم.
نمیگه برو.
I'm also here. Come.
خود ما اونجاییم.
هشم به موشه میگه بیا، من بیا پیش پرعو. یعنی you're not alone, I'm with you. که ما میگه که از اینجا میبینیم که خداوند در بدبختی‌ها با عیسی شریکی. هر وقت که عیسی تو بدبختی هستن، هشم اونجاست. یعنی تو بیا، من هستم، تو تنها نیستی. اگه تو خود نمیری به نفر بگی برو، یعنی چی؟ یعنی من نیستم و تو برو اونجا. وقتی میگم بیا، یعنی منم یا با هم داریم میریم یا من اونجا هم، بیا پیش من. هیچ وقت هشم موشه رو تنها نمیفرستاد. همیشه در بدبختی موشه که میفرستاد که بدبختی سر نجات بده، هشم خودش حضور داشت. آرون هم بود. that's right. the question is که اگر هشم میدونه پرعو این دفعه جوابش نه، رسالت موشه چیه؟ چی کار میخواد بکنه اونجا؟ very good. so خب حالا یه سوال دیگه من از شما بپرسم. چرا هشم اسرائیل نفرستاد الان؟ یعنی پرعو دیگه بیسیکلی قبول کرده که بعد اسرائیل برن. تنها دلیلی که نمیذاره برن هشم قلبش سخت کرده. این الان پرعو دفعش تو حواسم ساری چرا؟ خب اوکی. چرا ندکوت این دیگه نیست؟ خب هشم بذار پرعو کارشو بکنه، اسرائیل بفرست، بعد تنبیهش کن. چرا اسرائیل اینجا بمونن؟ ما بمونیم اینجا 3 ماه دیگه بمونیم که تو خواهی پرعو رو تنبیه کنی؟ تنبیهش کن. بذار ما امروز بریم بیرون. وقتی رفتیم بیرون از دریای سرخ عبور کردیم، بزن لتو پار کن، بزن بیرونش کن.
من فکر کنم
very good. ولی خب اینو میتونه بدون حضور عیسی هم بکنه. عیسی برن بیرون بدون
خداوند میخواد امونه عیسی هم ببینیم، چون تو دارکنس بعدش که نشون میده، بعدش خیلیشون از اون میرن.
That's true. هشم میخواست گدویداب بکنه اونایی که زخون ندارن که بیان از مصر بیرون، ولی هشم میتونست که همین کارا رو در غیاب اسرائیل بکنه. چه اسرائیل باید اونجا باشن؟ یه جواب اینه که اسرائیل باید بیشتر ببینن. تا 7 تا مکه دیدن، 5 تا دیدن کافی نبود. شما برید right. بعد من خودم تکر مسیرها رو میکنم، شما نبینید اونجا باشید. من رسیدم مثلا خود غزه رو از بین بره، حتما باید سربازا اونجا باشن، بیان بیرون، همه حاضر بیرون، بعد بزن لطو پارک کن، هر چی بخواد لطو پارک کن. چرا بعد الان بکنی، بعداً بکن. So Rabbi Feinstein says the question is, Abe, why did Hashem make Paro keep the Jews to the last minute? Even if Hashem wants to bring his miracles, let Paro send out Jews and then destroy the whole land, kill Paro, whatever you want to do. The last few Makot, last 3, last 5, Jews don't have to be there. So one of the answers they say is that Hashem wanted Jews to get the money before they go. But maybe Jews were okay to not to get the money and go earlier, right?
So they were promised the money.
Very
Promise,
good.
but what Hashem tells them is to borrow it.
So let's say
So
you are in a
to-
jail,
that was a
right?
test
And say
to
if you wait another 3 months in tunnels of Gaza, we'll give you $3 million. If you go now, it won't be no money. Which one do you prefer?
Go now.
Hey, which one do you prefer? He's thinking about it. I want money.
That 3 months you could die.
They asked Jack Benny. They came to him with a gun. They said, "Your money or your life?" And he didn't answer. He said, I'm thinking.
Is that real or
Jack Benny.
who's that?
Look him up, Jack Benny.
Okay. So
Your money or your life?
you're Jewish?
Of course.
Oh, you're Jewish? That's why I was thinking about it. Okay, so because he had a promise to do, so Hashem had to keep them because I have to give the money. Before the money, I promised Abraham to give you money. I can't let but still, people, from Hashem's end, he has to give the money, but from the Jews' end, maybe they prefer to go out today and not wait for the money. Again, if you're in the tunnels of Gaza, you don't want to wait another day and get money. You want to get out as soon as possible. So Jews wanted to get out. Why Hashem kept Jews for so much longer? So he says, because I want to bring my miracles or for my signs to the Egyptians. So they have to see it? Bring it. I think nowadays you could see it even better and understand better the answer than before. Because let's say, when the war was on in Gaza, whatever you destroy is okay. Whatever, bomb you drop, people understand it's a war. Once the war is over, come on, you are breaking the international laws. Why are you dropping? Why are you killing people anymore? It's over. So Rabbi David says, if Hashem would have sent Jews out and then punish Pharaoh, people would say, why? Why you're punishing the nation? It's over, right? They don't have the Jews anymore. But no one would say they kept the Jews for 200 years. What happened in the past? People forget about it. Now, border peace has to be peace.
So you kept them there to punish Pharaoh?
To be a legit operation, that when he destroyed Pharaoh, people know, because so he says something unbelievable. I read it, I was trembling, honestly. He said, at this point, Pharaoh is doing teshuvah. He's saying, Hashem, I'm sorry. But Hashem says, too bad. The punishment is there. He said, teshuvah is good to get olam haba, but it's not good to get away from the punishment. the avla, the terrible thing the person did with his bad deeds, still there. The fact that Pharaoh is doing teshuvah, Hashem says, okay, nice, I like it that you're doing teshuvah, but you have to get the punishment. I have to show you the punishment. So now I think for us, hopefully it's very different. The Gemara says sometimes if you do teshuvah, me'ahava, Gemara says, if someone, depends on what type of averah he did, what type of a sin he did, he gets different punishment. There are different stages of cleanliness for different sins. Somebody who missed Shema one day is different than someone who eats meat and dairy together, or cooks meat and dairy together. One is aseh, one is not aseh. And then somebody who eats a non-kosher fat is even worse, right? Breaking Shabbat or breaking Yom Kippur, even in a higher level, right? If someone has a affair with someone who's not supposed to be, it's worse and worse, right? Someone who does avodah zarah. So saying I'm sorry, Hashem, doesn't fix everything. Hashem wants you to say I'm sorry, but Gemara says sometimes you have to say I'm sorry. Sometimes you have to wait for Yom Kippur, right? And for some of them you have to go through some punishment, some puranot. Puranot means tough times, like hard punishments. And some he has to wait for his death. Because when a person dies, there's a lot of torture when the neshama leaves the body. That's the highest, the worst part of the punishment. And then, if someone did teshuvah and went through Yom Kippur and tough times.
It's harder for these people or harder for everybody?
For any neshama, it's hard to leave this world. Especially somebody who was very into his body, so the neshama is more attached to his body. So when the neshama wants to leave, it's a hard.
When you're in a high level of spirituality,
like Moshe Rabbeinu,
it's easier.
For sure. Moshe Rabbeinu was nishika, it was like a kiss. It was very, very easy to remove himself or his soul from this world. But for regular people like us, much, much harder. So that, that is a punishment. I mean, that's also a torture that will clean our averot, or the effect of averot. When someone does a sin, when someone commits a sin, is a stain on his neshama, right? It's like you have a white shirt and there's a stain there. Depends on type of a stain. You need different type of detergents to clean it. Sometimes with cold water, sometimes hot water. Sometimes even the dry cleaning cannot do it. The worst would be if someone doesn't want to clean it. Someone does not do teshuvah. He never took it to dry cleaning, basically. So he has to recycle the neshama, come back in Gilgul. There's a lot of problems then, too. So Rabbi is saying that Paro did teshuvah. Hashem said, that's good. Now is the cleanliness process. Let's go through the 10 makot. There's no way out without the 10 makot. You have to see all the 10 makot. And in order for the world to understand,
the 10 makot is for us to cleanse us.
It was for them, for the Egyptians, not for the Jews. Hashem was punishing their bad deed through 10. So we have a very, very important rule in Torah. It's called midah keneged midah. Hashem, everything comes to the world, there's measure for measure. There's no, Hashem doesn't exaggerate someone's punishment just because he doesn't like him. Or he did, everything is, 100% justice.
They're there to witness it.
Okay, so but it didn't come to us. Baruch Hashem, no Jewish, soul was lost. No Jewish.
The darkness.
Okay, because
so they were part of it.
They were almost like Egyptians. They did not believe in Torah, and they didn't believe in Moshe. They said that nothing's going to happen. You don't want to go out. Hashem, you're going to die here. You won't go out.
Lack of emunah.
Lack of in the whole system. They said, you're making up stories, Moshe. It's not going to happen. Even though they watched 8 miracles.
They say 49 levels of
Tum'ah.
Tum'ah. they just couldn't pull themselves out of it. So they
Or
just
right, or they didn't believe in that it's possible. You know, if you now you call it losing Jewish identity. If you don't have that Jewish identity, that is you know you can connect. There is Hashem, there is religion, there is Moshe. You know,
they just got lost. They experienced the 50.
Pretty much, I guess so. So he says that you know Hashem told Moshe, you know, I know I'm troubling you. You don't have to go to Pharaoh anymore because there's nothing you could do. I want him to not send Jews out yet. But the only thing is, I want to bring more miracles. I have to bring my punishment to this country. They have to see what I do because they have committed the crimes. It's too much. And in order for the justice to be served, I have to bring the Ten Makot, and there's no way out, right? But still, you have to keep going and telling him this is going to happen, right? So, and that's what happened. This three Makot, basically, Paro was not making any choices. He was just, you know, being a player for Hashem. That's what Hashem wanted to do. That what Paro do. So, and that's why these three actually are separated from the other seven. You know why? The very first time that Paro wanted to negotiate with Moshe. Before that, everybody listening? Before this, the first 7 Makot, Paro said, there's no way I'm not sending you. And as soon as the Makot came, yes. You know, they returned Moshe and Aaron to Paro's palace, and he said, okay, go serve your God. Who is going? When a person starts negotiating, when a leader starts negotiating, something's changing. Right? Who is the master negotiator nowadays, I guess? Trump. Trump claims to be the master negotiator. I know everything.
They call him Taco.
What does that mean?
Huh?
Taco.
Taco. Taco. Trump always chickens out. He's always afraid. He makes a decision and he's
I think he uses the strategy of threatening
to get people to the negotiating table.
To get them people to negotiate, to be able to negotiate what. Yeah.
Taco, I hear. I thought taco is the right word, but taco. So, anyways, so the very first time, let's say Hamas doesn't come to negotiate table. There's nothing to talk about. What do you want to get? What do you want to give up? You know, what are the first 7? He never said who is going, who is not going, what do you want to do. There was no negotiation. This is the very first time we see in the Torah that Paro is saying, I would like to negotiate.
What did he say?
Mi v'mi ha'olchim. Who are going? Who is going?
Is that the 3-day thing?
No, before that, the arbe, the grasshopper.
That was last time.
No, this is Parsha. Arbe, this is Parsha.
The one that you go for 3 days and not all of you do it.
No, so the last 3 is arbe. It's
I know, I'm talking about. You want to just go temporarily? Is that this is?
No, that was Moshe's offer. He didn't accept.
Is this Parsha?
No, that's it for Parsha, I think. So Hashem offered. Paro offered. Okay, you could go. Who is going? Only men should go, right? Because who serves God? If you bar mitzvah, young kids don't need to go. Ladies don't need to go. And Moshe said, no. We are going whole, with old people, young people, boys, girls, our sheep. We don't know what we need everything, right? But no, only men. Okay, but the fact that he came to the negotiating table, it's a new stage of Paro. Paro never wanted to negotiate. That shows Paro is changing, right? But Hashem doesn't let him send the Jews out just yet. Okay, so we have Makav Choshech, right? Choshech is the 9th Makkah, and 9th Makkah is the one that Jews actually found all the treasures of Egyptians, because the 10th Makkah, before they go out, Hashem asked Jews to borrow their neighbors gold and silver and whatever expensive items they had. So listen to this. He says that please ask Moshe said, please ask Jews to borrow money, borrow gold and jewelry. So Rav David asked, have you ever seen things like, please borrow, please get money? Everyone loves to get money. Right? What do you mean, please? So he said that Jews didn't care about money at the time. They would prefer go out today without money and tomorrow with money. But Hashem said, I have to fulfill my promise to Avraham Avinu. They have to go out with something, with a lot of gold and jewelry. So by the way, there's a midrash that says in Choshech, Egyptians actually asked Jews for help. Jews were so kind that they were feeding the Egyptians for 3 days. They couldn't move. So how did they eat? Jews would go in and say, can you bring my food? Can you feed me? So, Jews have a lot of mercy. They have a lot of rahmanut, right? Even though the enemies, but now they need us, we feed them, we provide for them. Anyway, so the last one, a very important concept. Hashem said you have to do Korban Pesach. And there was a very special process before the last Makkah. The most important Makkah is Makat Bechorot, the firstborns. That's why the firstborn fast the day before Pesach. Erev is the firstborn, right? Yer Bechor. So you fast on Erev Pesach. Why?
I don't fast.
I know. But you're supposed to fast. If you don't find a siyum, you got to fast, right? So why Makat Bechor is so important? Makat Choshech, Arbe, Dam, Sephardia, Kinim, Arov. We don't have anything special about it. Why Makat Bechorot? We have Korban Pesach. We have the whole holiday of Pesach because of Makat Bechorot. Why we don't have a holiday for Dam? Holiday for Sephardia. For darkness, something. We don't even know when this happened. But Makat Bechorot becomes very, very important. And before Hashem brings this Makkah, He says, I want you to bring a korban. And Jews know we cannot bring a korban unless everyone is circumcised. So Moshe circumcised maybe tens of thousands of Jews a few days before Korban Pesach because they couldn't eat. Torah says if you are an Arel, or even someone who's not circumcised for whatever reason, you're not allowed to eat. So maybe they didn't get circumcision, as they were slaves, but now they have to get it. So we say there's a pasuk. He says, "Varech mitposesed b'damayich." I see you crawling in your bloods. Right. So there were two bloods over there. One blood of Korban Pesach and blood of Brit Milah. There was two bloods in Mitzrayim that Hashem saved us. So we needed to have a Korban Pesach, and besides Korban Pesach, we needed to have Brit Milah too. So Rashi brings a very famous midrash. He says, now Hashem says, I'm ready to do what I promised. I promised Abraham to save you, to bring you out, to give you money. I gave you the money. You have the money. You have all the gold and jewelry of the Egyptians. The time is right, but there's one thing missing. Jews don't have any zechut. They don't have enough credit. They don't have any mitzvah. What do you have in your hand? You have nothing, right? Pasuk says in Yecheskel HaNavi, "Ve'at arom be'eria," you are naked, which means naked from mitzvot. Let's say you want to go to a bank and get a loan to buy a house. Say the house is ready, the seller is ready, I'm ready. We want to move. The mover company is here. The bank says, but how can I give you a loan? You don't have the credit. You didn't build up credit. Can you do something to show me you have credit to get the loan? Hashem says, everything's ready to go, but you as a nation don't have any credit. I have to build up your credit score. What I'm going to do, I have to give you two big mitzvot, two hard mitzvot. One would be Berit Milah, and one would be Korban Pesach. And Korban Pesach was very hard at the time. Why? Because a sheep resembles the god of Egyptians. So Jews had to get one, take it home in front of the Egyptians. They might attack us. They might get, they might harm us. But Jews went out of their way to bring a Korban Pesach, to do a mitzvah, put the blood on the door, to build up the credit score. Hashem said, now I can't save you, right? So Ramin says, a person, maybe Hashem is ready to give someone a very big blessing. Whatever you want, Hashem gives, but you don't have a credit. How can I give you? You have to do a little mitzvot to get it, right? That's why we keep doing mitzvot. Yeah, very, very big mitzvah, and that's the mitzvah that we're going to be. And not only a regular Korban Pesach. Korban Pesach, usually you get on the 14th of Nisan, you bring in the morning, you shecht it, you eat it at night, good to go. This one, you're supposed to get it 4 days earlier and take it home and deal with it. For 4 days, you're busy with the sheep. We don't find anywhere else. Never ever Jews had to do this. Only that day that they had to leave Egypt. Why? Because Hashem said, for a few days you have to do mitzvah. They didn't have tefillin yet, they didn't have tzitzit yet, they didn't have other things yet. So you have to do a mitzvah. What's the mitzvah as a nation? That's what you should do. So Midrash is telling us that when Hashem, even the time of a promise comes, the person might not get what he's supposed to get because cannot get the loan. Bank says, I am sorry, your credit score is not high. You have to build your credit score. So that's why Hashem said to bring a Korban Pesach. And also the Haggadah says, based on the pasuk in this is Parsha, when Hashem wanted to kill the firstborns, all the Malachim went down with Hashem and said, Hashem, why are you doing this? Let us do it. We are your servants, right? You created us to serve you. We can't kill the firstborns. What does the Haggadah say, Abe? Ani velo malach. Ani velo sarah. Not the angels, not the Malachim, not the Seraphim, not the Shaliach. Very good. Based on this is Amar Hashem kechasat halayla, Ani Yosef b'toch Mitzrayim. I go out. Hashem said, I want to do it myself. Why? Because that night, Hashem was choosing the Jewish nation as the chosen nation. We say in Tefillah, Ata b'chartanu mikol ha'amim. Hashem, you chose us from other nations. When did Hashem choose us out of other nations? That night. So let's say you want to pick a wife. There are 2 ways. You could do it yourself and marry the wife under the chuppah. Or you could send someone a shaliach, right? The Gemara Kiddushin will get there. It says that Ha'ish mekadesh bo ubeshelucho. A man can marry someone with himself or through a shaliach, through an agent. You could ask somebody else, can you give this coin to that girl in that city for me? And if it's trustworthy, does your job, will be your wife. Works. Ladies too. A lady could accept the money to be, the gold, whatever, the silver, the ring, herself or through a shaliach. Ha'isha mitkadeshet bah ubeshilucha. With herself or with the agent. The Gemara says, come on, if you can do it through the shaliach, of course you can do it through yourself. Why did the Mishnah need to say, even you? So Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Yosef, mitzvah bo yoter beshilucho. The bigger mitzvah is when you do it yourself, not through your shaliach. Do it yourself. There's a mitzvah, you show importance when you do it yourself, not through a shaliach. When you do it yourself, himself. I'm doing it, right? I'm doing it. There are 2 ways to get ready for Shabbat. You could ask your worker to do all the work, or you could do it yourself. There's a mitzvah for you to go do shopping, for you help out in the kitchen, right? For you to take out the garbage, for you to set up the table. A person should do something himself, right? Someone told me I help out my wife by staying out of the kitchen. If I stay in the kitchen, only too many arguments. So that's how I help out. I stay out. But there are things that a person could do, help out, because mitzvah bo yotem shluchot. Hashem said, I want to do it myself. I have thousands of, millions of malachim. I want to make sure I'm choosing my nation. I want to do it myself. I do not want it to be through a shaliach. So I want to end with the last part. We know the last part of the Torah is Kadeshli, by the way. Mashlim is Kadeshli. Shavi'i, we read Kadeshli that on Tefillin. The first time that Hashem talks about Tefillin, this is Parsha. The first time Hashem talks about Bechor, Pidyon Haben. If you have a baby boy, right, the firstborn baby boy, and you're not a Kohen, you have to buy it off from a Kohen, right? Albert did it for his older son. Abe, you bought off your son from a Kohen? Pidyon Haben? You did it, right? 30 days old. How do we know it? This is Parasha talks about it. Because Hashem saved the Jewish firstborns and killed the Egyptian firstborns, we owe it to Hashem. So it really belongs to Hashem. So we buy it off, through a Kohen. And we have to remember the day that Hashem left Egypt. Hashem left us leave Egypt because of he said Mitzrayim. The firstborn. This last makkah is a very, very important makkah. So now, usually, every mitzvah in the Torah that we have is either with Jews or kosher animals. Right? There's only one mitzvah, I believe. There's no other such a mitzvah in the Torah that has to do with a non-kosher animal too. Which is? There's only one mitzvah in the Torah that a person should do with a non-kosher animal. What's the mitzvah? There's only one mitzvah in the Torah, as far as I remember, that a non-kosher animal is involved. And it's in Kadeshli. So Torah says, when you have a firstborn son, you have to buy it out from a Kohen.
The firstborn of
A donkey. Very good. If you have a firstborn of a human, Jew, you have to buy it out from a Kohen. Not Levi, from a Kohen. Right? If you have a firstborn of an animal, kosher animal, cows, sheep, ram, you have to give it to Kohen. Come for the Kohen himself. Your baby boy, don't give it to Kohen, he's not going to babysit for you. You have to buy it back, right?
Animal, if you sacrifice, you buy it back, right?
No. Kosher animal, you only give it, only sacrifice. You go to Kohen, Kohen will eat some of it and keep the, burn some of it.
The donkey.
Oh, now. The only place that Torah says a non-kosher animal will also have to do something with it is by donkey. Donkey is not a kosher animal, right? But if a donkey has the firstborn, that firstborn you have to give it to Kohen too. It's a holy animal. Non-kosher animal becomes holy. The first time in the Torah ever. If you don't do it, you have to kill. You have to chop off its head, the donkey's head. You have to give it either swap it with the sheep and give it to the Kohen, or get rid of that donkey. Why Hashem cared about the donkey all of a sudden? Right? Why donkey is important? So very good, very good. Donkey works very hard. But I want to tell you two answers to this. Unbelievable. He says that maybe this, or I want to share another thing with you too. It's a beautiful thoughts. He says that, Hashem had promised Avraham Avinu that your nation, your offspring will go to a land, to a country, they're going to work very hard, but they're going to leave with a lot of money. Gold, silver, clothes, anything expensive. That's Hashem's promise to Abraham. Who is going to execute the promise? How much gold and jewelry can you carry out of Egypt? Well, I have my own food. I have to bring my food. I have to my kids. I don't know. How many pounds can I carry with myself? I need donkeys to execute Hashem's promise. Because Hashem had a plan. and the plan would be executed only through the donkeys, Hashem said, you are holy. I like you. I keep you. I'm going to give you a special, recognition. You get, right? You get, Pidon Peter Chamor. You get the redemption of the firstborn. There's only one other non-kosher animal doesn't have any mitzvah. It says that you have to feed dogs because dogs also didn't bark. Fine, that's a different. There's no special kedusha. They get food for free. We are supposed to throw out our meat.
Male donkey?
Good point. I don't think there's a difference. I'm not sure. So he says that because Hashem wanted Jews to come out with a lot of gold and a lot of jewelry and a lot of money, right? And Hashem needed donkeys to execute that plan. Hashem promised them a reward, and you become holy. So that means when you do what Hashem wants to be done, some works hard. Donkeys had a hard time. They had to carry a lot of load on themselves on the way out of Egypt. Hashem rewarded them. Somebody who becomes a hard worker for Hashem, Hashem wants things to be done in the world. To be Torah to be taught. It should be a Torah education. It should be mitzvot. It should be a yeshiva. There should be a shul. There should be a mikveh. There should be chesed done. I have to go through it. I have to work hard. I have to give up my money. I have to do this. No. She said, if you become the plan, the execution plan, you get a reward. Even a donkey, which is not a kosher animal, Hashem gave him a special price, right? You become a holy donkey. So that's one thing. And another thing shows working hard is so important. Learning Torah is not easy. Doing this is not easy. But the fact that you work hard, that brings kedusha. A donkey work hard, Hashem give him kedusha. Hashem give him holiness. And also Hashem rewards person who executes Hashem's plan. The last thing I want to show you is that when Jews left themselves, where did they leave with? So the gold and the jewelry went on the donkey. What did Jews carry in their hands? Was that their cell phone? And it was not their checkbooks. What did you have in your hand? Some people were carrying the bones of the 10, 20 people were, carrying the boxes of the tombs of, the Shabbatim. But what did they in hand? You have a bag that you're going to carry. What did they carry in their hands? So Torah says the people that carry their matzah, leftover matzah, or the leftover dough of matzah out. The jewelry is on the donkey, but you have to understand, the only mitzvah in their hand was the matzah. There was nothing else to call a matzah. So Rashi brings down that they were left over of matzah and maror. Some maror too. Maror is a bitter herb. Hashem told us to eat this last night. The korban they couldn't live overnight. The korban Pesach had to eat all. You cannot leave the korban, but the matzah you could live over, and maror could live over. They wanted to show this is what we want to carry in our hands. The most important thing in our life is our mitzvah, right? And the gold jewelry will go on the donkey. That's fine. Hashem wants us to crowd with money. We'll go have money, but donkey could carry my money. But my real gold, my real jewelry, my real money, right, is mitzvahs. After all, they knew what are going to do with money. Back in the day, there was no shops, there was no credit card company. What are you going to do with money? Let the money be on the donkey. I need my mitzvah. Man came, the water came, everything was coming from Hashem. But what I need in my hand is my mitzvah. And that's what David Feinstein says. Jews had to come out, the mindset, what I'm going to have in my hand when I leave this world is my mitzvah. The money, I'm going to leave it on the donkey. the money will be in my bank account. I'm not going to take my money. If I'm always holding to my jewelry and my properties, and this is what I'm going to have, you're going to leave it on a donkey and go. Right? They call it Wells Fargo. What does Wells Fargo mean? Wells means that my property, my Wells Fargo. How far? Up to the grave. You're not going to go past the grave. Chase. Money's not going to chase you, dude. It's only up to the grave you could chase the money. Money will chase you. But after that, it's going to be, your mitzvah. What are you going to put in your hand? Jews left Egypt with matzah and maror in their hand, right? On their hand and the shoulder was their mitzvah, and that's what the person should be focusing on. Have a great day. Shalom bashir, rizum b'khair.
Shalom bashir.